Hey y'all,
My name is Kayla Walker,
Dari Desai.
and I'm Chandu Changawala.
and we're three freshmen here at UNC Charlotte, live from Levine Hall.
Levine Live is a podcast that's here to bring you the details on the Levine Scholarship Program.
We'll be discussing everything from our experiences digging holes at Knowles to our nerve-wracking experiences on Finalist weekend.
Be sure to tune in here every week for some heartfelt advice, some funny stories, and a good time.
Hey y'all, welcome to our first episode of Levine Live.
My name is Chandu Changawala, and I'm a psychology and biology double major with a minor in chemistry. In the future, I want to go into pediatrics and hopefully specialize in long-term illness care.
Hi everyone, my name is Kayla Walker, and I'm planning on majoring in public health and mathematics with a statistics concentration, and I'm also in the pre-med track. After college and medical school, I'm not exactly sure what I want to specialize in, but I've been really thinking about OBGYN.
My name is Dari Desai. I'm double majoring in biology and chemistry with a concentration in biochemistry, also hoping to minor in public health and math, also on the pre-med track. I hope to become a surgeon in the future, I just don't know what specialty yet.
So we decided to start this podcast just after talking in the dorms about our first semester, and we really wanted to give some content to you seniors who potentially may be here next year in the Levine Scholars Program.
And before we actually start our episode today, we just wanted to congratulate each and every one of you on becoming a finalist in the Levine Scholarship Program. And regardless of the outcome, we just hope you have a great time at Finalist Weekend. And we know that it is online, but we hope that this podcast, your interviews, the events, and the panelist program that you have will help you decide if this program is the right fit for you.
We're planning on doing an episode every week up until Finalist Program to kind of get you familiar with it and present you with stories and just fun facts and other information to get you excited.
All right, now let's get into the episode.
The Levine Scholars Program enrolls about 20 students every year and provides them with the tools, resource, and community they need to prepare for lives of visionary leadership and positive social impact. This happens through a 4-year scholarship that pays for tuition, room, board, books, mandatory fees, service grants, as well as 4 summer experiences. The service grant is a financial reward of $8,000, which scholars can use to create, plan, and execute a service project that promotes a cause for the benefit of our community.
So the summer before your freshman year, everyone is required to go on Knowles, and we just got out of our Knowles trip in August, and it was super fun. It is a 24-day backpacking trip in Lander, Wyoming, and it's kind of just meant to build the community before you come back to school. And we'll be going into detail about Knowles in a whole other episode because there's just so much to cover. This summer going into your sophomore year, you'll complete a nonprofit internship in Charlotte, which is just designed to let you get to know the community of Charlotte, and you'll be able to somewhat choose your internship of where you want to go. Some of the past organizations that Levine works with is Make-A-Wish, Habitat for Humanity, and Atrium Healthcare.
And then for the remainder of your 2 summers, you're required to fulfill a pre-professional internship and a study abroad internship. It doesn't matter what order you do them in or if they're done together or separately. Some scholars are seen doing them together, so they go study abroad and do a pre-professional internship at the same time.
So while those summers are a requirement for the program, I for sure am looking forward to getting out into the Charlotte community for my nonprofit internship, going abroad and have experiences there, and just overall it's meant to build your resume, but it's also really fun and interesting component of the program.
So in addition to all of these opportunities to set you up for success in your professional and graduate education life, you'll also have access to alumni and professional networking, personalized mentorship, professional development funds, priority course registration, research opportunities, spring break service trips, social, cultural, and athletic events throughout Charlotte.
And all of these opportunities will be covered in detail in your panel programs for the finalist program, and then which is the topic of our next segment. Well, with a great program like that, there's definitely a competition, and this comes with a final selection process. For you, this is the finalist weekend.
So for this year, let's run through what finalist weekend entails.
For sure. This year, the program starts on Sunday, February the 13th, and Monday, February the 14th. The first day, you will have an academic department meeting. Then you'll get a virtual campus tour and housing tour from our current scholars. And then we'll end the day with a scholar showcase. This is where you'll connect with current Levine scholars individually, and you could ask them personal questions about programs, activities, and extracurriculars they are in.
So the next day is the biggest day with all of your interviews. You'll go through 3 interviews/discussions, where the first one will be your individual interview, then you will go through a group interview, and lastly, you'll have a discussion about a TED Talks that's going to be sent to you prior to Finalist weekend.
So, how was y'all's experience in Finalist weekend?
Well, it was definitely nerve-wracking, nothing less. But because, like, first of all, it's a big opportunity, full scholarship, so I was very nervous. And it was online. I personally like it to be in person, but because of COVID, they had to put it online. But I think the staff and the scholars did a great job, like, transitioning online, because we were the first online experience they had. So that was really fun. And then the scholarship showcase I really like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, for me, I feel like the Finalist program was kind of a blur. Like, I've just, like, forgotten bits and pieces of it. But overall, like, I think it was good. Leading up to Finalist program was my favorite. Like, just having those informational sessions, like, about Knowles and, like, what different scholars and stuff are, like, doing within, like, with the scholarship. Like, that was my favorite part. And the interviews were definitely nerve-wracking. That day for me was so long, like getting up at 8:30 and then going to like 6 o'clock at night. Like, I was so done I was just dead after the end of it. But overall, I think it was like really good.
Yeah, I think it like really helped that they share the like program itself shares all the stories and stuff to it, because they treat you like you're already in the program just as a finalist.
Mm-hmm.
So like on Finalist weekend, you can feel more at home. So even waking up at 8:30, which rarely happens with me, it was like, okay, I'm going to something I'm familiar with and something I know I want to be in because I know I'm a great fit for it and it's a great fit for me. So that really eased my nervousness about it. But I still remember because my mom made me a bagel that morning to wish me luck, and I could not eat it. I was like, no, this isn't happening until after. But it was definitely nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I definitely didn't eat that entire day. So that's probably why I was so tired. But yeah, I think I definitely agree with, like, you kind of knew exactly what you were coming into with the interviews. Like, I remember, like, I knew some of the students, like, based on the panels and the things that we had before. So overall, I feel like I had a really positive experience, and it, like, worked out. So now we're here. So
that's also what I like about, like, the online part, because usually when they're in person, they just do all the information the day before your interviews. But this year, well, last year for us, they did the information like spread out. So like we were able to like slowly pick up on it, and then some panels would like kind of repeat some of the information. So it was nice because then it was like, oh, I want to talk about this on my interview. I want to talk about this on my interview.
Yeah.
So that like really helped out.
And, like, another thing is, since it's online, a big perk is, like, they'll see what you're wearing on top, but, like, you could always just, like, show up in your, like, pajama pants and be comfortable while you're doing something so nerve-wracking, which is really good.
I don't know how you do that. I have to be dressed up in a full suit. I can't, full suit or, like, I don't think I had my blazer on. No, I had my blazer on, too. Pants, belt, suit, tie, everything has to be there.
I had pajama pants on.
Oh,
I can't.
I had my fuzzy socks on for sure.
Yeah.
Any interview, I had that. I had like one like fidget thing next to me, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing for all of my interviews. So that was the one perk of being online.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing is just like rest reassured that there's like 75 other finalists that are probably sweating just as much as you are, and probably in the same situation as you are. And although like 20 of you will probably get it, I still felt like pretty connected by the end of like the social that you like take part in after all your interviews, because it's just like, oh my gosh, like these 75 other kids or 74 other kids did the same thing I did at the same stressful day.
Yeah.
And like in the end, like regardless of who gets it, we were all extended an opportunity from this great program, and like it was just really nice and wholesome at the end.
Yeah.
So
and then one thing I wanted to add was like the scholarship showcase that we did like the day before the interviews was the best part, I feel like, because that's where we like connected like one-on-one with like current scholars, because they were split into groups. Like it would be better if it was in person, of course, because then you could like really meet them. But even online, they were all like split into like small groups. There's Greek life, activities, sports, research, and all of that. And then we were also able to just have like a chat like through a call, like just call like individual finalists and just be like, hey, I'm Daria, what's your name? And like just like anything about anything. It was nice.
Yeah, it's so crazy like being like thinking about that, like how like we knew none of us, and like we were on the same Knowles group, and like we're roommates now, like just like you see people but like you don't know who's gonna be there like the next year, which is so crazy.
And there's like the stigma that, because when we're talking about the scholarship program throughout Finalist weekend, you're throwing information about all these huge successes that the scholars experience, and there's this huge stigma that they're like up high on a pedestal, like achieving all these amazing great things in 4 years. And like when you do the networking and like when you go into the showcase, you realize like every single one of them have their own interviews and are just like us. And like that's when I felt like for me was when I took a real step into the like program, just because I was like, oh wait, like I don't have to concentrate on just biology my whole life and like cure cancer. Like I could go do whatever I want and still like have time for education, and just there's like the correct amount of rigidity. I feel like so that was really, really good, especially during the finalist weekend, because I'm like, oh my god, like yes, I'm interviewing for this scholarship, but do I even belong there, you know? Like there's so many successes, like what am I gonna do?
But like, were any of you guys in more than one scholarship, like finalist type of weekend?
Yeah, I wasn't in like more than one finalist program, but I was in like another 2 semifinalist programs, and then this one. Those 2 semifinalist programs did have interviews like sections before finalist programs, so it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But something that really stuck up about Levine was having their information sessions throughout the month, or like throughout the month before the program. That really like helped me like pick up, oh, this is what I like about Levine. Oh, like I want to go to Knowles. Oh, like I want to do like research, or like Levine offers this, like that's one thing also, like Levine offers this service project. So like we will get $8,000 to do whatever we want, help like work with another nonprofit in Charlotte community and give back to not only like UNC Charlotte, but the Levine Scholarship Program and like the whole Charlotte community as a whole.
Yeah. I was also, I think I did 2 semi-finalist like interviews, and again that was like just the interviews, and then I did one other finalist weekend, and like I think Levine's final, like it's just such like a whole event, like you get to know the community, like you fully see every component of like what this program entails and how you can fit into these programs. Like I remember taking notes like, oh, this person worked at this clinic, like I'm pre-med, that sounds interesting to me, so I can also do that. So I think it's just such a whole, like, even though again like it was online and like in person probably would have been better, like it still was a whole thing that we got to just experience and still feel connected to the program even though it was online.
It was like the communication aspect of it, because like even before final, like during the panel programs, we were connected with a current scholar. They just like shot us an email. They couldn't really do much, but like they just shot us an email asking like, do we need any advice? Do we need any help? Do we have any questions? And like, so my personal like connection was to Kevin Tan, but me and him like connected really well. And I was just like asking him, how was his finals program? What did he do? What he does now? Like, how has Levine supported him? And just hearing that from him was just nice. And then like he connected me to other people as well. So it was just nice like connecting with people even before our actual program started.
I think that's really important to mention, just because a lot of other scholarship programs kind of like close a door in your face, because they're like, you only get the benefits when you become a scholar. But for like the Levine Scholarship Program, you could like start shooting emails now, like as a finalist, even before finalist weekend. And even if you don't get it, they're probably like, anyone in the program is probably still willing to help you in any way, sort of form.
For sure.
If you just like mentioned that you were a finalist or you were an applicant even, which it doesn't happen with other scholarship programs, I think, at all. So that was really good. But I wasn't in other scholarship program interviews, but I was writing a lot of applications through like school, like just small grants that would help me out. And it's just like, with the amount of stuff that you have to do for Levine, I feel like it was so much easier to do the other stuff, because even the prompts that you have to answer were really different than most scholarship questions. So that helped me kind of be more introspective of what my interests are and what I want to expect for myself. So it's like easier to answer essays too.
I really, honestly, I don't remember the essays. I feel like I wrote them like so last minute, but it definitely
That's like all college apps though.
It like made you think about like kind of like, I feel like Levine is all about like not like kind of like purpose. Like I know we like, you're not allowed to say passion, just like a tip out there. Don't say passion, but like about like your purpose and what you want to like do for the world. And like that's how like I hopefully like I brought that out in like my interviews, but also like the essays before you even get to the interviews as well. Like made that connection.
Yeah, that's what like Levine looks out as like a whole. It's like, what's your purpose? Like it's not like what you did, but why.
Yeah.
Which was like really nice, because like I feel like if we during the program, like even through the finalist program, they have three interviews, and in each one they ask like specific questions, like for them to like learn just more about you as a person, rather than like, oh, did you get like a good grade? Did you like, what else did you do in school? No, it's like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
So which was nice, because like they would actually like want to learn more about you rather than like your accomplishments.
Yeah, I think the program itself is more focused on what they can do for you. And I think like when we mention like how do we get into the program, it's just have a clear idea of like what you want to do with the program. Like not just like reap the benefits, but actually like what you want to do with the resources that you have. Because if the program sees that you will be using everything to achieve things that you want to do, that's way better than just like throwing out ideas and just
like if you have like actual like meaning behind like what you want to use Levine's resources
for,
and like what your ideas are, like how will that like help you in the future, not just like through like these 4 years, but like even past that, because like even alumni still have connections within Levine still today, and especially with like the service projects that they have, like some alumni are still connected with their service projects, or like even if they're not connected, the new scholars are now connected.
Yeah, passing it on. I think also something that's related to like what, like how you can use Levine to your benefit is like the fact that like you can major in absolutely anything. And like even if you're in your major, like that doesn't contain you to like, oh, for your internships, for example, like you don't have to do a medical based internship. Like it's really just like about exploring your interests and what, like, again, like how you can like there's like unlimited resources basically with Levine, and like how you can use those resources to like pursue something that like you're interested in and like would bring like be meaningful to you.
Like that's what, like I feel like that's what like the panelist programs did, is like they tell us how they're gonna make us like, well, if we get the scholarship, it's like we're gonna make you like an all-rounder, like not just like, oh, you will definitely be strong at your like specific niche, which is gonna be your major, like what you want to do in the future, but they'll also like put you in like nonprofit internships. Most scholars don't even get like not get, but like most scholars don't choose to like do something that they're interested in just so like they could like do something else. Like some scholars are, yes, they're on the pre-med track, or yes, they're in like pre-law, but they're working with Habitat for Humanity, which is like a housing program. Or like some scholars are, yes, they are like in like the business field, but they're working with like racial justice and like other programs like that. So Levine just like help. Well, this is what I saw through like the finals weekend. It's like how they make us an all-rounder, like just a whole circle.
And I think like you underestimate how much they emphasize being well-rounded until like Knowles. And you're like, okay, if they put a bunch of nerds in like a 24-day backpacking trip that's like emotionally and physically challenging, they're pretty serious about being well-rounded. And speaking of like roundedness, I'm gonna round back to I'm really curious. Like, did you guys experience any technical difficulties during finalist?
Well, okay. For me, it was my laptop. I think for one of the interviews, either my Wi-Fi went out or my laptop died right before. It was like I was always trying to get in there before, because like it's always nice to be in there before your actual time is, so 5 minutes before. But like it was 5 minutes before trying to get in. The page wasn't refreshing. It wasn't like loading. So I had to like restart my whole laptop, hoping that I could get in right before my time, because I didn't want to like be like, oh, I'm sorry I came in late. Like, yes, they would understand, and they definitely did understand, because that's what happened to me. I did end up showing in late, but like they understood. They're like, yeah, we get it. It's online. So don't worry if like your laptop dies, or like if you're having internet difficulties. Just like try to get there in as fast as you can. And if you can't get in, probably shoot Dr. Z an email, or like Abe an email, and they'll definitely respond within like a few minutes.
There's also like, I know for mine was a call option. So I like was in my interview like literally 30 minutes before. Like I was just sitting there ready, like waiting for my group interview. And then when I like go, like when it was the time to like go into like the actual room or whatever it was, like my internet just stopped, like completely, like was not working. So I'm like freaking out, dry heaving, like trying to like call the number so I can get into this interview. And like I think I like missed like maybe like the first like a minute 30 seconds or something like that. So like they were going around like answering the questions, and I didn't even know what the question was. So I was like listening to like everyone's like answers and like figuring out what exactly the question was. But yeah, just try to like plan ahead for your interviews. Like with there's only so much you can do. Like if your internet just crashes, like it
crashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like charge all your devices. Make sure you have like a secondary device or something. Like if it's possible, have a secondary device there so you can like hopefully alleviate. Yeah. Hopefully you have none of these issues. But like that's also like just a tip like to be prepared like for everything.
And also don't be afraid to go to like a second location. Like Personally, my home Wi-Fi is really bad, and so I had to walk down to my clubhouse and just do anything like Levine related there, and like that was just much better because I didn't have to worry about it constantly like cutting in and out. But definitely like find somewhere else to go, maybe with like less noise pollution. Just a tip, but like a clubhouse or a friend's house or somewhere that's quiet, but like you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And then a tip would be make sure you like set up your like however you're gonna be zooming in or like calling in. Make sure you just set that up probably the day before or even like an hour or two before like your day starts. So what I did was I set up my whole I put my desk in a different room, different lighting. Everything was just different. Like yes, you might find comfort doing it in your bedroom, and that's nice. But I just say make sure like you know that in your bedroom. It's just set up. Don't like mess with it between like Sunday and Monday. Just keep it as you can through Sunday and Monday, so you won't experience any more technical difficulties than you might.
And being early is like much better. So try to like go into like the Zoom meetings or whatever at like 10 or 5 to 10 minutes early, just so if there is a difficulty, like Kayla, you could just enter like 30 seconds late at max. So
now that we're like already talking about advice, what would you say like is like maybe one of your biggest pieces of advice that you would have for like students who are trying to apply to Levine and become a Levine scholar next year?
For me, okay, I absolutely hated this question because whenever I asked someone, the only thing they told me was be yourself. And I was just like, what am I going to do with that? Like, what is myself? Like, what myself do I need to present to get in? But my advice to you is to be yourself.
Nice job.
Yeah, so literally just go in there and treat the interviews, treat the group discussions, treat like the social, whatever things that they require of you like a conversation. Like someone is trying to get to know you, kind of like a blind date. Just literally tell them what you want to do with the program, tell them what you're interested in, tell them like focus on yourself. That whole day, just be self-absorbed. Like literally just tell them everything that you want to do, everything that you want to achieve in those 4 years. And that way I feel like regardless of the outcome, it's okay. Because you gave your all. Like you gave who you are, you presented who you want to be. So if like the program rejects you, maybe it wasn't the correct fit for you and you could go do something with that in another program or in another school. And, like, if they do, you know that, okay, they're ready to support whatever you presented. So be yourself.
And then going off of that is, like, it's also being yourself. Yeah. But, like, don't try to find the answer that they are looking for. Like, don't try to, like, look in their heads and be like, oh, they want this answer from me, so this is what I'm going to say. Don't do that. Because, one, you're not presenting yourself out there, so you're not going to put everything you have forward.
Right, yeah.
That's not what you did your 4 years in high school, and even before that, maybe, to, like, be here. Like, whatever you wrote on your essays was, like, yourself, not, like, trying to find the answers that they're looking for. So now, like, keep on doing that. Yeah. Be yourself through it. Because if you just, like, I feel like that's what, like, one advice that, like, Kevin gave me was, like, don't try to, like, find the answers. Right. Like, someone else gave me, it was, like, don't try to find the answers that they're looking for. Because, one, they already know what most scholars will be saying. Like, not scholars, but, like, most finalists will be saying. Because they know what they want to hear. Right. But they don't actually want to hear that. They want to hear, like, what your perspective is. They want to hear, like, details from your life and, like, connections that you've made.
Yeah, I agree with everything that everyone said. I think also, we sort of touched on this a little bit, but also, like, talk about how you fit into Levine. Like, there are so many resources and programs that are already established, but, like, maybe discuss, like, oh, like, I'm really interested in, like, Habitat for Humanity and working with that, or, like, look into certain things that you can do with them, like, all the resources and money that Levine is giving to you, and how you can fit into that, and how, like, maybe even if your purpose is, like, different, like, and we don't have something, say, like, I would love to contribute this to the program as well, just, like, how you and Levine would, like, fit perfectly together, basically.
And then, like, not only Levine, I feel like also Charlotte, because that is our bigger school.
Right.
Like, yes, Levine is a great program inside, but Charlotte as well. Like, Charlotte, like, College is also a really great program. Just, like, the people here, just interacting with people, not even in Levine, but Honors College, Bell, just regular students also here. It's just great interacting with everyone. So just fitting inside this community as a whole is great. And then, like, another thing I would give is, like, interacting with the program as much as you can. Because read those emails, read every bit of them, reply to them if you can, or if you need questions, ask right away. Don't, like, hesitate to ask a question. We're all here to help you. If let's say that Abay can't get to you, then he will put you to someone else. They'll get to you. Or if you ask a scholar, they might not reply. Probably send another email being like, hey, I just sent this email out a few days ago. Can you, like, reply a little bit later? Just, like, keep on interacting with the program, because if you interact with the program will interact with you, and then the more you learn about the program, the more we will learn about you.
And also, like, if you made it this far to a finalist, like, the program already believes you'd be a pretty great fit. So the finalist program is honestly, like, they just want to meet you, and they just want to say hey. So, like, just treat it as a conversation, treat it as a phone call, and just know that you don't have to, like, achieve the greatest going into it. Like, I remember in my finals program when they asked us, like, about what we thought our, like, biggest achievements were and stuff, and it was just, like, a daunting question. Everybody was giving really impressive answers, like government school. And I straight up went, I wrote a really big essay once, and it was hard because I'm a procrastinator. And, like, I'm here now, so apparently it worked. But just, like, make sure that you're true to yourself and don't underestimate yourself because you're already this far. And that's impressive in itself.
The people who they choose, like, is not necessarily who gets, like, the top grades, like, takes the most difficult classes. It's, like, people who can be true to themselves, who, like, kind of have a purpose and, like, just want to, like, do good, like, in the community, world.
And so, like, going off of that, what do you wish you knew before going into the finals weekend, or, like, before you went into your interviews?
That's a hard one.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, like,
maybe I feel like it would be important to know that, like, I think I've touched on this a few times, but just, like, to know that it's okay to go in with interest and, like, just, you don't have to have everything figured out. Like, I don't think any of us had, like, this 4-year plan, what we're going to do every second of our lives. Many of us have changed. Many of us are in the process of changing. And by the time this, like, we're done with our first semester and just started our second semester. And, like, by the end of this year, there's probably going to be tons more change. So just, like, be really, really flexible with yourself and be patient with yourself because college is a lot of change. It's a lot of work. You're, like, living with these people 24/7 now. And, like, your family is probably not going to be around all the time. And this, like, scholarship program, hopefully, that you'll get into is, like, sometimes expects a lot from you. So it's just, like, nobody here are robots. So just, like, keep that in mind. Like, everyone has, like, scholar in front of their name. It seems intimidating. But everyone here is absolutely just normal people.
I think for me, like, definitely also that, but I think I somewhat saw this, like, through the finalist program and, like, learning about the school, but, like, just, like, how much support is behind you, like, it is, like, unimaginable. Like, I come up into the Levine office probably once a week, like, sit down, have a conversation, like, just, like, talking about random stuff, but also, like, hey, like, this, like, I mean, for me, I feel like I'm somewhat, like, an anxious person, but, like, hey, like, I'm trying to get this, like, very goal-oriented, like, trying to make progress every week on, like, just my life and trying to figure out life and stuff like that, and, like, the program is here to support, like, literally whatever you want to do. Like, right now, like, I'm somewhat debating whether or not I want to be pre-med, and, like, I can just come in here, like, have that conversation, like, oh, well, if you're not pre-med, this is what you're gonna do, or, like, this is how you can, like, they're just, like, here to support whatever it is that you want to be in, like, this world.
They feel like mentors more than, like, directors or like academic advisors. There's just, I think, like, fancy names for just mentors. Like, somebody you can email and be like, I am literally like gonna cry myself to sleep. Like I need help, and they'll be there, which is really, really nice because I don't think you can expect that from a lot of scholarships at all.
Especially because we are a small scholarship. That's one thing I like really liked was we're only 20 people.
Right.
Other scholarships have most likely they have more than 20, probably 50, maybe even pushing like 70.
In just like the first cohort.
In the first cohort. So that means there's about 300 people, maybe even 200 in the 4 years, like in the whole program. We only have 80. That's like that's the size of some programs, like one cohort.
Right.
So it's actually really nice because the mentors, like you said, not like academic advisor and director, but like our mentors, they know each and every one of us. Yeah. They like, and especially because some of them even go to Knowles with us, so they're in that 24-day trip with us. Right. So we were able to like connect with them personally, talk to them about literally anything, music, life, family life, school, anything. So that's what I really like was we're 20 people. So yes, this scholarship is really hard to get into because it's a very small like group that's selected. But once we did get into this, it's like a family now.
Once you're in it, you're in it. Like, you literally have, like, with your grade, like, you have 20 built-in, like, best friends, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you also have, like, older people to look out to you, to hang out with, to ask questions, like, oh, where'd you do your internship? How did you do, like, who are on, like, the same trajectory as you? And then not only that, like, you have alumni. Like, there's, like, been 12 classes, I think, so far.
Yeah, we're the 12th, I think.
Yeah. So you
started
have, like,
2000,
a whole bunch of older people who have also been through the program, who also kind of, like, understand, like, the way that we work, and can, just, like, understand how, and can give you advice about different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, like, there's a certain level of intimacy in the program that I don't think you get a lot of places. Yeah. Just really nice. So how are your first semesters? We're already in our second semester, which is so insane because we were talking about Knowles earlier in the episode, and we were like, we just got out of it. I'm like, oh shoot, like we literally just got out of it.
Been 6 months.
Yeah,
literally 6 months.
Half a year ago.
But it literally feels like yesterday. That's another topic for another day. Knowles not right now. Yeah. But first semester has actually been really great. Coming in here, I was pretty scared because all my life been with my parents.
Right.
I am the only child, so I'm really close with my parents and friends. And me and my friends were supposed to go to the same college, but I really didn't have any like close friends coming to this college, so I was scared. But Knowles really changed my whole like perspective around because I did get close with because Knowles splits us up into 2 groups. That's gonna be like later, but we got. In the 10 people that I was like in group with within the 24 days, we're really close now.
Yeah, bonded for life.
Yeah, bonded for life, literally. But coming in with like those like 20 like connections was really nice. And then even after that, like spreading out through classes, and since we were in person, not online, it was so much easier to connect with like neighbors, like classmates, people we were just right next to in groups and all of that. And from there, Levine just like. We had what is it called? The cultural programs that we went to, just cohort like connections, whole group, other programs like festivals, even dorm hall parties that we would have. Like Levine Hall would throw like an ice cream party, or like they would have a movie night that we do, or like when they had a carnival. It's like connecting with people, and like the whole dorm itself is nice too.
Yeah, and, like, I just remember, like, the feeling of the first time all of us outside of Knowles, or just, like, the first 2 weeks, we were just gathering in one of our dorms and, like, watch a movie. Yeah. And it would just be, like, it would feel like Knowles, but not really Knowles, and it was just so nice. Like, it's something... I don't think a lot of college students can expect the first day to go smoothly, or, like, it's just too nerve-wracking. But we have that privilege just because we already know 20 other people.
Yeah.
And, like... we have the opportunity to lean on each other, and we take a lot of classes together. And like you can always just have that one random Levine in your class. You could reach out to him and be like, hey, you want to like walk to class together? Because I don't know how to manage this huge campus. So that's like super nice. But
yeah, I felt like my first I think I like almost had like a perfect adjustment semester. Like back in high school, like I took a lot of the same like AP classes, AP Chem, AP Bio, like those types of things. So my course load was like pretty good for like just transitioning from high school to college. And then again, like with the community as well, like I already had friends, I already knew people coming in here, I knew who my roommates and stuff would be. So I think everything just like went like mostly smoothly, which is really nice. I would say like the only like thing that like, and this is like a personal thing, like just like kind of figuring out like my major, what I want to do. Like I think I had, like, because Levine is so open and we're allowed to do anything, I think I had, like, that was probably, like, my biggest thing is, like, figuring out, like, what path and trajectory I wanted to go down.
Yeah, and, like, thinking about it, it's only been, like, August, September, October, November, December, like, 6 or 5 months.
Yeah.
But we've, like, accomplished, like, so much. Like,
Right.
yes, I took, like, an easier coursework because I want to, like, adjust to college. So instead of, like, probably, like, the 16 credits that usually you'll be looking at, I only had 14. But even with that, I was able to start working, got into research.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of starting my own club. And, like, and throughout all of this, like, both Dr. Z and Portia have been, like, a great help through everything. I'm on, like, two like, executive board committees. Just, like, Levine helps you, like, so much, like, not only, like, find out what you want to do in the first semester, but, like, just pushes you to, like, make sure each semester is very impactful. Like, you're doing other stuff than just, like, sitting around doing coursework, going to classes, and coming out.
Yeah.
Like, they want to make sure that you're doing, like, other things that will, like, make you learn more about yourself and just help the community as a whole.
Yeah. And, like, I think it's important because all of that's done in, like, a home style.
Yeah.
Because I'm an out-of-stater, and, like, I grew up my whole life in North Carolina, but we bounced back to Indiana for a year. And so I still count as out-of-state, and I've never been to Charlotte in my life. And the fact that my family is, like, 10 hours away by drive was super intimidating for me when I came down because I really lean on my family like Daria. And so I knew I wouldn't last a second if I didn't feel at home here. Just because phone calls can only do so much.
Yeah.
So, for sure, like, having that home style kind of living, just being able to spend time with like other kids that you probably now call family, and just like going to get something to eat or hanging out in a dorm just does a lot. And it's really comforting, I think.
Yeah, I think all of us, like, look out for each other, whether that's, like, between us students, but also, like, the people in the Levine office. Like, everyone is looking out for you and just, like, wants you to, like, have the best time and, like, be successful after you get out of Levine. So that has also been really nice, especially being out of state. Like, I mean, I'm from Maryland, and I had been to, like, different, like, away programs for, like, a summer or something. So, like, it wasn't that, like, too drastic adjusting, except now I'm here for 4 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, the family community has, like, quite literally saved me. Like, just like, even this right now, like, us, like, all sitting and talking, like, this is, like, a normal conversation. So yeah, just, like, the family has, like, also made this adjustment super, like, perfect, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Not only that, like, especially with COVID right now, I did get COVID once the first semester. Yeah, like, just, like, even if I got COVID, yes, I did go home. But everyone in Levine, even though, like, they couldn't, like, be there and, like, support me, but they'd call, they'd text. Even, like, Portia, she would just be like, hey, just checking up, are you doing all right? I know that you're gonna be, like, coming in a few days. Do you need any help? Like, they're just there to help you. Like, yes, like, friends do that as well, but, like, the connections that you make is, like, insane. Like, current scholars, like, Portia, Chandu, and Kayla would just, like, text me, like, randomly, just be like, hey, how you doing? Or, like, FaceTime me. So I wouldn't be, like, alone in my home just, like, doing coursework.
Yeah.
And it's, like, really nice because when we're talking about, like, home life, like, I think the program itself involves our parents and our families, but gives us enough space to do our own thing at the same time, which I think, like, keeping our families in the loop is super important because, yes, we're adults now, but also they want to know what we're doing. They want to know, like, what's going on and just, like, have updates, and they get that, but also we have, like, the kind of confidence that we could do what we want and we could do like whatever we want and still, like, have that comfortability with the program, with our family, with our friends, and just, like, trust each other.
So with that, what was your favorite part about college so far? I know it's only been one semester, but it's been 6 months, which is a pretty long time.
For me, I don't know if this counts, like, as college, but, like, honestly, my favorite part here has been Knowles. Like, and again, we'll get into, like, everything about Knowles, like, in another section, but, like, I am not athletic. I've never hiked in my life. Like,
I don't think any of us did. No, none of us hiked
ever.
The fact
that you're saying Knowles says a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
If you were there, like, the first, like, 3 days and you heard me saying Knowles after that, you'd be like, you're crazy. Like, no. But it, like, that community that, like, like just like the ability to like look after each other, like
Yeah.
the ability to work together through like difficult situations, like the ability to like persevere, like all of that came from Knowles. And like I feel like truly without going there, like not like obviously we would still be close, like you still like have your college friends and like those are like deep bonds, but like Knowles is just like a different breed of like deep.
No, and it's like so many people, like even in the program, have different opinions about it, but it's like something that brings all of us together. Like all 80 members are like, everyone did Knowles.
Yeah, and,
even the first class did Knowles.
Yeah. Even the first class, and like we just had like an alumni panel like a few weeks ago, and they're still talking about like how in their interviews for like their work, they still bring up Knowles. Like they remember that so vividly. Like that is a memory that we will and like people have remembered for the rest of their lives. Yeah,
and I think it's important because like our cohort and like you guys, your cohort, will be like virtual. So a lot of like you're meeting other people in the finalist program, and once you get the scholarship, the other scholars will be virtually.
Yeah.
And like there's only so much you can know about a person through a screen.
Yeah.
And it's just it's honestly very uncomfortable the first few days, just because you're like put into that environment and there's like no makeup, no brush for your hair, like nothing, and you're just like not showering for 25 days, and that's like the first time you met them, so it's a little bit definitely adjustment period, but I think like doing it the hard way makes it easier in the longer end, and it's important just because of COVID and stuff like that.
What about you? What's your favorite part?
My favorite part would be the friends I made. Like the time we've had together is so great. Like yes, we have schoolwork and we have classes together, so we can study together. But like even being in like the study room together, yes, we're studying, but most of the times we're not studying. We're fooling around. We're watching a movie. We're making fun of each other, teasing each other. Like yes, it's like playful and all, but it's just so much fun. Like we do get distracted more than we should, but we still get our work done.
Yeah.
Yes, it might be like long nights, but those are like fun nights.
Yeah.
Like we're up till 2 a.m. That's like I remember like being up till 2 almost like every single day.
Yeah.
And like yes, we had to wake up by 9, but like that's fine.
It was fine. It's part of the experience.
It's part of the experience. Yeah, it was fine. But like the time we would have from like 12 to 2, like just like once night would hit, it'd be like amazing. We'd like slow down on work, be done with all of our work, and then we just like chill out in a study room and just hang, play games, play the Wii.
Yeah.
Haven't played the Wii all of high school, but then coming to college, that's all I play. I do have free time.
And I think it's like it says something when even our mental breakdowns are funny.
Yeah.
Like we have like records of our mental breakdowns, like
I keep
recording each other.
And
which like happens because college is stressful, but it's so funny when you're in like it's like 12 a.m. and you're in a study room with everybody, like with your friends, and then you're just like, oh my god, I'm gonna start crying, and everyone like not even like, hey, are you okay, but just starts laughing, and then you're like laughing, crying.
It's a way to ease the pain.
Yeah,
it's through love.
Through care.
It's
through
amazing,
care.
but for sure.
So, how do you think your experience as a Levine student made it different than other college students? Like, has it made it different?
For sure, like literally every aspect. I feel like, again, like going back to like just the support, like some people come to college, one, like not knowing anyone, like don't like really have advisors to like guide, just like random questions you have, like we have all of that like built in. Like if I came here, like I'm out of state, I knew no one before I came here. So like everything has been so like supportive and loving and like growth oriented. Even like my friends here, like that is one thing about like Levine scholars and I like about just being in a scholarship program. Like we have fun together, but like at the end of the day we all care about like our success in the future as well. So I think just everything about this program like has made my first semester go so smoothly.
And like with the finalist program and stuff like that, you're like forced to kind of think about what you want to do in college so early. And, like, once you get to college, there's so many things you can do and so many opportunities. It's, like, really easy to get distracted and get lost in that. And so, like, for me, it was, like, saving grace that I have, like, notes of what I wanted to do in college and, like, where I want to be in 4 years. Because I'm a person that, like, cannot pay attention to one thing for, like, a long period of time. So college would have been an extreme challenge if I didn't, like, start thinking about what to do. What about you?
What about me? I feel like Levine definitely did make a difference. It's like, so I am in state. I'm from Cary. So I did have friends coming in here. but like they weren't really like any like really close friends. I do have a few close friends that are here, but like they're on the other side of campus. We're south side, the better side, and then they're on north side. So like, yes, I interact with them, especially like when we have classes, we get lunch together. But like being in Levine Hall is just so different. Like, yes, we have like our 20 people in Levine cohort, and then on top of that, there's the honors college. Like since we're living in like the third and fourth floor, there's a lot of honor students. So the thing about like I feel like it's different is with our like freshman class in an honors college. There's just a huge mob of us just hanging out in the social lounge.
Like, together.
Yes, that would be like, that's regular for an honor student as well. Yeah. But like being a Levine, we do get that as well. But we also have the support from our advisors. And on top of that, we have more than like one advisor. We have a personal like academic advisor, which is Portia. Then we have our like department advisors. Then we have like other like professional advisors. So like there's Dr. Haney for pre-meds. There's Dr. Smith that we can also go out to as well. Dr. Z can also be an advisor. Like everyone in our like office in Levine Hall, or like in Levine the Levine office is just there to support you, and we'll be there no matter what you need. Like we're all here to help, and that's like one thing that I don't think you can get as a regular like student, because being a regular student, you're in a pool of 4,000, 5,000 other students. Yes, you have advisors that will have just like a few students, but they also have like our academic advisor also does have like 30 to 40, at least more than that, other students that they have to get connected to as well. So you can't get like a personal connection with them, but with like the people in Levine office, you have a personal connection with, and you will have.
We go from like talking about like what each other's doing on the weekends, like with Dr. Z and Portia, to like random topics about like snakes, like literally anything that you can think of. And then like you can also sit down like, oh, I came in here with like a list of questions about like what classes to take. Like it just goes from everything, so which is really nice.
And with like a small community, like we have a small community, and a lot of people like sometimes are concerned with that because of inclusivity, but like you will find at least another person that's just like you in the program. We're just so diverse. Like I feel like personality wise, like race wise, like there's just somebody that's similar to you for sure. So
well, I think that's like pretty good for our first episode. Well, we can tune in next week. Hopefully, you guys will tune in, and we will be going into Knowles. So that's a whole lot of things to like go through.
We hope to see you guys next week, and every week after that. Once again, we're
Kayla,
Daria,
and Chandu live from Levine Hall.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next week.